Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Simply Colorful FiberCast. Today's date is March 15th, 2019. My name is Lynn and I'm your host. Welcome. Grab a project and let's sew together for the next 60 minutes. I think we'll be amazed at what we can get done. So welcome. Now, we're going to talk about green today. We're going to do some Dear Jane, and when I say green, we're going to talk color theory. But before I get started, I want to turn on my overhead cam on Facebook. So bear with me, and I do this by my phone, as you know. So if you want to watch both, you can watch this on YouTube. I'm so glad you're out there. And then also go to the Simply Colorful page on Facebook so you can see up close from the top down what I'm working on. And I'd love to, I'm so glad you're out there. I hope you've had a great week. Let me just see about getting to Simply Colorful, and then I hit publish, and then I do live video, and then I look to make sure I look ridiculous, but here we go. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Simply Colorful FiberCast. Today's date is March 15th, 2019. I can't believe it's already the middle of March. Welcome to the show. We're going to be doing some Dear Jane blocks. We're going to be talking about the color green, and we're going to show you what I've been working on here in the studio. So grab a project and let's work together. I have you on YouTube also. So if you want to see me in full living color with the full view, you can go to YouTube/Simply Colorful and make sure to subscribe. And also, I'm going to put this heads down. Hi, Lacey. Hi, Carolyn. Oh, I'm so glad you're out there. I'm going to put this down so you can see what I'm working on up close. Enjoy the show. Okay. Let's make sure that that fits enough. Okay. That. Hi, everyone. Hi, Sue. Hi, Lisa. So glad you're out there and can join us. Okay, you can see my sewing machine and this. Well, first things first, I wanted to show you a quilt that I finished this week here in the studio. This is one that I started at Missouri Star, and it's a keyhole pattern, so it's a Missouri Star Quilt Company pattern. And then I found some minky, some pink minky that was on sale on the sale channel at Joann's. And I put that on the back, and I discovered this really cool flowing feathers pattern that came with my Statler. So, and I'd never used it before, and I love it. So KB, I may suggest one of these for one of your quilts, but we'll see. I like it. And I put the binding on today with my new machine. And so I will do that in front of the TV. So I just wanted to show you that I made some progress there. Let's put that over there. Okay, Dear Jane. As we know, March is Dear Jane month, and I was encouraged to do more blocks last week because my mother had given me a hard time about only doing one block. And in fact, I saw Lima this week, and she also was asking me if I was doing more than one block a week. So last week, as you know, I prepared a lot in advance and I got a lot done. Well, this week I've been really busy and I was not able to do that. So let's see if I can do one or two blocks this week. I'm hoping I can do a couple. I'm going to start with this one that is Granny Weaver. And I marked my book so that we could see it. And I found this old Cranston Mills fabric that I just love. Hope you can see that. I'm going to turn this on and try to see everyone's comments. But this is what we're making, J-6. It's a Granny Weaver block in the Brenda Papadakis book. If you don't have this and you want to make Dear Jane, get it and or get the software. And if Karen is out there, not KB, my sister, but Karen Sweich over in Ashland, I dropped off some more goodies to you today. So Karen is my friend, our friend who, okay, let's see. See if we can see this. Oh, there we go. Okay, now I have to turn this off. Hi, Sandra. Hey, hey. Hi. It's so good to see you out there. Okay, so this Granny Weaver does not look hard, and it shouldn't take us very long. I am doing the paper piecing method, and I even thought I would try to get a little creative. And I printed out the paper piecing pattern, but I didn't cut all the pieces off. I kept these 3 there, and I thought I'm going to try and piece it all in one. So I'm going to try and do this. It may become too unwieldy. We'll see. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to line this up. Can you see this? Hope you can. So I'm hoping to sew right along there. Okay. You want to talk about wasting fabric? This will do it. Woo! I'm still loving my machine, by the way. Everyone out there. Hi, Maureen. Ding. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Shirley. Oh, I'm so glad. Share, 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 share. Let's get lots of people out there sewing with us. Do you believe we've been doing this for 6 years? I was thinking about that again today. Quite frankly, pretty proud of us that we've been doing this. And I know the world has changed too. Remember, this was such a novelty, and now anyone can do this, right? So I was thinking, so we need to mix it up and maybe do other things. And we've tried that in the past. And see, so I'm just putting another one here on top. And again, this is going to use a lot of fabric, but it should be faster. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is cut this white away. And I bet I end up with larger seam allowances than I really want. But let's see. So there. Now we'll do another, a white. Sorry about that. With the pattern. Okay. Granny Weaver. I wonder who Granny Weaver was. Okay. Now, there were 2 more that I couldn't line up quite the same way. Oh, I guess I'm not done with this. Sorry. Getting ahead of myself. Well. Sue Norton, I meant to say, I don't know, I guess I was daydreaming or something, but I am so impressed with the size of your Dear Jane and how much you have gotten done since you started. You're my inspiration. Okay. So it's getting there. I'm going to do one more. Put this big piece on top here. Had a nice visit from Nancy. Came over today. She's the president of our quilt group. And it was so nice to see her. And we talked about the upcoming quilt show and the guild and where I could help and where I couldn't help. It occurred to me that I'd been giving mixed signals because a couple of months ago, I went to one of our quilt guild meetings and I was just really impressed with the program. And I found myself thinking how lucky we were to be there watching the program. I was to be watching this program, to have people who had taken the time, and this was being given by other guild members, taking the time to teach me something and prepare it. And I was all gung-ho. I came home and I emailed people and said, you know what, I've got to start to give back. I've got to start to do more with the Quilt Guild and for the Quilt Guild. And so then I did my bag. So I did one demo. And now when it comes to really putting my time and energy where my mouth is, I find that I'm having a hard time, where's my ruler, really committing to much. And I think it's because I just do a lot of it at work. And for a while, I want to be free of organizing and planning events and anything like that. So I didn't say no to everything. I did agree tentatively, no, I agreed to work on our raffle quilt for our quilt show that's coming up in 2020. And I think I've talked about this. This is the quilt show where the quilts are hung from the ceiling in the Cultural Arts Alliance building. And Colleen Barnes does a tremendous job. She's got it down, so she knows how to do it. She's been doing it for several years now. And it really is unique. We go to other quilt shows and the quilts are standing up on those stands, which is beautiful, don't get me wrong. But when you walk into this Cultural Arts Alliance building, the quilts appear to be floating and they're really fun to look at. Anyway, I said I would do the raffle quilt. Now, I must admit this machine is making me a better piecer. It definitely is a tool I needed, but I am by far, oops, see, not the best piecer in our guild. So if anyone is out there, and I am thinking of Eugene, who would have interest in doing the piecing part of it, I'd get you the pattern. Maybe we would buy a kit, the best fabric, only the best fabric and the most beautiful quilt. And I will quilt it with the gamble, but I need someone to actually make the pieces. And maybe I could be an ironer, or we could get a group of people to help iron. But I'm thinking if we really want to do this well, a high quality product, we need one person with the same consistent seam allowance doing the seams. And I know that's kind of quasi opposed to the idea of a raffle quilt made by the guild. But if we want it to be really nice and really attractive, I think that we have learned that's the way to go. Okay, so I'm getting there. See these? I trimmed those up. Now I have to make these two. And they're the opposites. And so let's start with white. So anyway, that was fun to have a visit. And as I say, I did commit to something. And what else? Oh, man, I can't believe I forgot. Mom and I went to that doll making. Here, I'm really making a mess here. Okay. The doll making Textile Tarts Club meeting last Saturday, and we made intention dolls. Oh, and if Ray's out there and Aunt Nancy, hello. Amy, Ben. We had great fun, and my mother was such a trooper. You know, dolls can be fiddly, right? And they're little, and you really, you know, you put a lot of time into this little thing, and then in the end, what are you really going to do with it? But Mom was a trooper. She even came home and continued to finish her doll with me on Sunday, no less. So we have many hours invested in these dolls, and they're lovely. So I will show you a picture next time, or I'll post it if Mom says it's okay to show her doll. Okay. So that was good. What have you been working on? Send your pictures to me at lynn@simplycolorful.com. And in a minute, I'll go look at, oh, and I want to say, hi, Becca. Who else is out there? Norma. Hi, Norma. How are you? And how's Marquet? I was thinking, oh, Sue says, oh, April the giraffe still has not had her baby. Well, peace to you, April. I hope that the cramps aren't too bad when that day comes. Wow, April. Oh, who else is out there? Did I melt the ruler? Lacey, you saw me. No, I think I lucked out. I did not melt it, but I came close. Did you see that? Gee. Norma, I hope you have a good weekend too. Spring is coming. No, thank goodness I didn't. I tell you, I love these grips. They really do a good job of holding the ruler down. So I just keep working away at this. I do like this fabric, I must admit. It's probably from, what do you think, 70s? Okay, and then now we have one more big piece. See how the white there? Hi, Dawn, if you're out there, and Cindy and Carrie. And Kathleen, hopefully I said that. Oh, Lacey, maybe next time. Are you saying I'm going to melt my ruler next time? You crack me up. Oh, so happy St. Patrick's Day. I wanted to talk about the color green. And I even got out my color wheel. And I did get out my color theory book too. Remember this that Karen gave me for Christmas? And it talked about color harmonies. And I really didn't study it long enough to find something about green. But I did find something here. They were talking about color harmonies and classifying the complementary pairs according to the pleasure we take in them. I guess it changes over time was the thought 100 years ago. And according to the pleasure we take in these pairings of complementary colors. We may put yellow and blue first, then orange and green blue, red and blue green, finally violet and green. These studiers or what are they? These students of color, Chevreul, Rude, von Bozold, and Bruquet, having made many experiments and observations in their attempts to lay down rules for harmonious combinations, state that here we come upon problems that cannot be solved by purely scientific reasoning. This is what kind of caught my eye. It said, by comparing the art of one country or of one period of one country with that of another, we find that throughout them all, certain pairs of colors have been preferred to certain others, and we feel that aesthetic taste, which cannot be explained, influences us greatly in our liking of certain combinations. Now, absolutely, think of what comes in and out of style on our furniture, in our fabric, in design, in home design, and of course, in the different designs of our fabric and then designs of our quilts, right? We're going, this modern era is flatter prints, more solid prints, more geometric. In fact, last week when I was Queen Bee last month, and I asked for fabric that had pink and green in it. And I was thinking of when in the 80s, when you had beautiful pink and green floral fabrics. I used to love those. And people said, and I got the blocks. That's what I wanted to show you. I'll get them in a minute. And I got the blocks, and people said, you know, I don't have much pink and green floral in my stash right now. And it's because things come in and out of style and what is aesthetically pleasing. Beside taste, inheritance, training, environment, and contrast all have their unconscious effect upon these preferences. Church divides pairs of colors into 3 classes: pairs of the small intervals, pairs of decided differences, and the extremes or complements. All right, so then it gets very detailed. This is the book. It's called Color Problems. It was written, in 1904, I think? 1901 by Emily Noyes Vanderpool. Anyway, I love to look at it. It's way over my head very often. But here's what I wanted to, this was fun to think about. Okay, so green for St. Patrick's Day, this Sunday. If you add red to it, look at what it does. It just brings it right down to a dull red or green. Similarly, if you put green into red, it will dull it down. If you add yellow to green, it becomes that light yellow-green. If you add blue, it becomes blue-green, right? If you add white or tint it, it becomes light green. And if you add black, it becomes a shade of green. The more black you put in, the darker shade. The more white you put in, the lighter tint, right? So we've gone over that before, and it's always good to go back and just remind ourselves. Yellow, for example. Now, where's violet? Because the opposite, the complement, right, of yellow is violet. Let's see what's on the back here. Oh, I bent it. If you don't have a color wheel, I highly recommend investing in one. Because even though fads come and go and maybe certain values of blue come in and out of vogue, I bet if you really analyzed it, you would find that even if in vogue is a blue slate color, I bet you would find that the complement is being used. Anyway, green for St. Patrick's Day. That's just what I wanted to talk about. And for anyone who becomes a patron, you get a green t-shirt. So please do that. I value all my patrons. It's how I can do this web hosting. So thank you for your monthly contribution of $2, $5. I really greatly appreciate it. And if you go there and sign up, it's www.patreon.com/simplycolorful. I will send you a green shirt. It might not get there by Sunday, but next week it will. Okay. So here's that. Oh, and I think I'm going back up to Vermont in June to drop off my quilt, the family quilt that I've been talking about from the Plain and Fancy book of Vermont quilts. And I'm going to go see the hooked rugs at the Vermont or the Green Mountain Rug Hooking School. And I may just pull down my rug hooking again. There's one. Can you see this? Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. It worked. Ha! Granny was going to be crying. I hope you're not seeing my head. Okay. And there we go. Look at that. So let's get rid of all of this. And let's sew these together. Look at that. I did see something online about water-soluble paper piecing. Has anyone ever done that? And would it be worth a try? So we may get more than one done today because we're almost done with Granny Weaver. Look at that. Put that on. How's everyone been doing with daylight savings time? Hopefully you're sleeping a little bit later, maybe. Look at that. So that is Granny Weaver, J-6. And all the paper pieces are going to have to be taken off, but we can do that. Okay, so let's put that there. What do I have next that we could work on? Oh, and if you don't want green, you can get a purple shirt. Again, go to Patreon and look up Simply Colorful. Please support us. Okay, here we go. G11. Which one is G11? Put that there. G11. Nine. Decisions. Well, that looks pretty darn easy. See that one? So we're going to make squares and then we're applique these little triangles. So I did a little prep, not a lot. Here are going to be my little triangles. And those I will hand applique downstairs. So I'm going to put those aside. Then I've already sewn my paper pieces together, and now I just need to trim it. Okay, so there's one. Isn't that a bright color? I think this color came from Deb over in Upton. I think I found a strip in one of those scrap bags you delivered to us, which we will use for our comfort quilts. I believe, although I'm not 100% sure, we're going to make more quilts for Essentia here in Massachusetts. There are a lot of orphans here in the state for one reason or another. And some of those orphans are having babies, which, so that means quilts. We need quilts. And I shouldn't go much further without saying I'm thinking of people in New Zealand, and I'm sorry for what happened. It's just awful. There was a shooting in the mosques. Awful. Okay, so here we go. We're going to put those together, and then, well, let me put those together first, and then what I love about this Bernina is the dual foot, or dual control. What do they call it? It's like the walking foot. So what happens is my fabric isn't shifting in the paper. I love it. Jean, if you're out there, just wait till you see your quilt. The first one's done. I'll do the second one tomorrow. So you should have both of them by Sunday. I actually posted a quick video of it on Instagram tonight. Dual feed. Thank you, Lisa. I need to look at this more often. Yes, Sue says, I hate the time change because I get up at 4 a.m. for work. I remember that. Are you going to be glad when that work thing's over or what? Okay, there's another one. Now, what I'm going to do, and I won't do it tonight, but this is where I will take my needle and I will turn this under and baste it. All four corners. And there are better ways. You know, if I had started this and I had my new machine, I probably would have done all of these like machine applique. But since I started hand basting, so you get the idea. I'm just going to keep going. And it's not that bad. Okay, so that is another one. Hey, Jean. Jean says, I'm watching you live finally. Oh, I'm so glad. Okay, so let's put that aside. Now, here's another one that I wanted to pull out and share. This one's G7. So this is kind of a neat one on the original. It's green. And I wanted to show you how I was going to do it, how I'm thinking of doing it. So I pulled out, I had one piece of 5 by 5 inch charm square. So I did the circle, I traced it, and I'm thinking what I'm going to do is turn it under and then applique it here. Then what I thought I would do is maybe so somehow I'm going to sew it on one side here so that it fits right, and then turn it over and then hand applique the other side. And then do the same thing with this, going across, so that and that. And I had to piece little pieces because that's all I had from my charm square. That makes sense? So that's what I'm going to do for that one. G7. I don't think we can call that done yet. Anywho, let's do that. I think I knew I had other things to show you. The dolls I forgot, and my queen bee blocks. But my queen bee blocks are really close. So indulge me. I'm going to go get them, because I don't think I have any more. Oh, yep, I have one more Dear Jane that I prepared. This one is G13. And in the book, it looks like this. Another very easy one. So what I did for G13 was I sewed together a 9 patch. And by the way, I wanted to show you this. I twirled my seams. And it makes me want to go back and make a whole quilt out of 2-inch squares. Look at how I turned them. It's this dual feed thing. So then I've got more pieces that I have to applique. And what I'm going to do is, and I probably should have appliqued first and sewed it in, but I didn't, so. I like this fabric too. This is old. So that's G13. It's called Molly's Muffin. Okay, now let me go get my queen bee blocks. Stay there, I'll be right back. I'm getting them. These blocks are also done by Missouri Star Quilt Company. And I think maybe I had shown everyone this last time we were together, or the time before. It is, what's it called? Ah, here we go. Disappearing Pinwheel Basket. And everyone was asked to make 2. And look at what they made. And these that I'm showing you, I think are going to be arranged. I don't know if you can see that very well. Four together with the pinwheels in the middle is what we're aiming for. So I'll show you. So there's another one. So let's say you put 2 like that, and then here's a third one. And they're all beautifully done. And that will be the 4th. Isn't that neat? So the baskets kind of form that triumvirate. So I'm so excited. So delicate and pretty. And I think I'll use a minky on the back. And it could be a baby quilt. It could be for spring, just to comfort someone. Look at that. Isn't that great? Oh, and there. Look at that. Oh, and look, pink and green comes in all varieties. I think I have to make, thank you if Linda's out there. Thanks to Linda. She made 8 of these. So she, once again, was an overachiever. Ooh, this is pretty. So thank you, Yvonne and Anne and Carrie and Michelle. Isn't that a fun one? Oh, look at this one. Kind of cool for Easter. Easter less than a... Okay, so stay tuned on that. I will turn those into a quilt very soon. Okay, let's see what we have here. Aw, Sandra says she likes them and Cherish does. Oh, good. What could we do next? How are we doing? Okay, we might have time for one more. Let's see. We have our blocks there, our Dear Jane blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go look in here. G12. Oh, we're going to do that. Glory Eye. No, I'm not going to do that one yet. I swear, I look at these and I think, I've done that one. But then again, I haven't. Let's do Woven Meadow, G10. Let's at least get it started. And I have another... So which blue? Which blue should we use? They're so different, aren't they? Let's put these over here. I think, let's do that one. And let's put all those over a little bit. This is what I do first. Yes, with my fabric scissors. I guess we're going to be volunteering on Sunday up at the Mary Corby 3-on-3 basketball. Oh, when you make a label, what do you put on it? Oh, okay. Okay, let's do the label. Definitely whoever, your name and the date. And I'd say that's the minimum. And then after that, you can put location. You could put, I've seen people put poems or notes or letters to the recipient. That's my 2 cents. Others might have other ideas for what they put on it. I'm not as good as I should be about labeling my quilts, I must admit. But good question, and I would love to see your quilts. How many blocks does a queen bee get? Well, there are... There are either 6 or 7 of us. It shows you what I know. Let's see. I'll tell you. And so each month you can have those people in the group, the 6 or 7 of us, make either 1 or 2 blocks. So for most of us, we've asked for 2 blocks. So 2 times 6 is 12. But let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now remember, Linda made 6 extra. So if there are 6 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So I guess there are 6 of us. Thanks for asking. I definitely encourage you to do it. It makes me go to the meetings, I have to tell you, because each month we get our instructions and then we have to bring in the block that we made the previous month. So it does definitely encourage participation. Isn't this pretty? This is a pretty color. Wonder where this came from. I have to make a graduation quilt between now and May. And I'm now thinking maybe I should do something very old-fashioned. Maybe not 2-inch squares, but 5-inch squares. Might be kind of cool. With scraps. So, because I'm not buying any more fabric. I have oodles of it. Okay, all this down. Now, iron all these. Does this remind you of oceans or of clouds? That looks like an ocean to me. Hey, KB. Hi, Carol. Aw. Hi, Ann. Ann Murphy. Oh, she can only see the top of my head. Oh, that's not good. I'm sorry, Ann. Hopefully you can see that now. Okay, what color white are we going to use? So we have lots of the blue here. Let's use this white. Okay. So if I start with this one, it's using the blue as number 1. So there's one. Look at how big my pieces are. Ugh. Does anyone have a good source for a storm at sea kit, quilt kit? Or any really stunning quilt kit? Ideally with pre-cut pieces for greater accuracy. Die cut. That's probably going to be the next thing, you know it? We've had pre-cuts and that kind of changed the quilting industry. You watch. Someone's going to be able to die cut fabric. And maybe they're already doing it. I don't know. Okay, so there's 2. Now I'm going to go over there to 3. But then you have to ask yourself, where are you going to stop? So let's say they die cut the fabric. At that point, why not get a 3D printer and have it create the quilt for us? 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I'm going to do 4. So now what I do, and this is where if you had an 1/8 of an inch seam, add an 1/8 of an inch ruler that has the little lip. What you would do is you put that over and you put it down and you trim it better. But as you know, don't do that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is this again. So now let's get another piece of our blue. So right on the line. Now, see, with this white left, I'm going to use that on my next piece. There's that. Okay. And that'll be just enough, I do believe. There's that. Okay, so we talked about St. Patrick's Day, talked about the color green a little bit and its complement red. Oh, and we talked about the mosque and how our hearts go out to folks in New Zealand. We didn't talk about the storms out in the Midwest that are dumping buckets of water, and the winds. Those were something. I heard Stapleton out in Denver, they had to close the airport at one point, and they couldn't let it, they didn't want traffic to go or come, even if you were stuck, so you could be stuck right there in the airport. That's going to be really pretty. So I want to trim this one and see what it's going to look like. See, that'll be reusable. That'll be reusable. Isn't that going to be pretty? Well, just to recap what we did, we sort of finished G13. We definitely did finish Granny Weaver, J6, right? J6 or J9? Yep, J6. So that was great. We're on our way on this one. I lost the piece of paper. And we're also sort of just beginning on G7. This is going to come together, I promise you. I think Sue's going to finish hers before me, but together we are going to have a Dear Jane. And for those of you who have already completed it, congratulations. That's awesome. And for those of you who maybe haven't started the journey, I invite you to do so. It's really fun. It's very gratifying. And I'm so glad you could join me. We're in our 6th year, thanks to you. So have a great weekend, everyone. Be safe, Be happy, do what you love to do, and I'll see you next Friday night at 8 p.m. right here. Bye. I'm going to say goodbye to YouTube, and then I'll say goodbye to Facebook.